Q&A session. It's been a while with the Q&A as well, once per month, and we're happy to have the original lineup of their bonus podcast when we started podcasting with 3 guys on it. Thank you all for all your questions. Once again, just a quick reminder, the entire episode is available only for BN Plus members, so make sure to subscribe to BN Plus on basketnews.com/plus. And yeah, let's go. Let's go with the questions. Alexa Radanov had an interesting lineup of the questions, and to be honest, I didn't get the reference at first, but okay, let's go one by one. For hosts, what is your bottle of choice?
Rytis.
Tequila.
Red wine?
Bottle of choice? I was thinking like beer. Or
But that doesn't count as a bottle
right?
of choice.
Yeah.
It's just a cold drink.
Yeah, okay. Red wine for me then.
Okay. The second one, if LeBron was Hennessy, what bottle would Michael Jordan be?
See, that one I did not understand really.
So let's say Henny is like
The GOAT?
legendary drink.
And actually, he's the
Legendary
face
cognac.
of the...
Yeah, there's bottle of Hennessy with LeBron's face on it, and
Yeah.
next to it there's a bottle without LeBron's face. So the price difference is like €5
Okay.
for the same drink.
I actually feel weird when I see players' face on the bottle. I mean, to me, it's like I prefer the regular one.
LeBron actually has his own signature tequila as well.
That's the thing. For some reason, I Googled it, and there was some World Spirits competition where actually LeBron met MJ in the final, because MJ also has some tequila brand, and LeBron won the contest. So he's the GOAT, at least in the tequila conversation.
Sounds like a ChatGPT invented the information you just read there.
I know that
but okay.
Carmelo is
It's an
making
actual
wine. Carmelo is into wine industry.
He's also in weed industry.
That's true in New York. Well, I guess then if LeBron is Hennessy, then MJ Crystal Champagne.
Okay.
Let's go to the
You
next
cannot
question.
go wrong with that.
The third one
Yeah.
kind of puts us in some context. Which EuroLeague player brings the best party bottle?
The best party bottle. Which EuroLeague player?
I think Matthias Lazor. I think he's bringing the best party bottle and the most party bottles at the same time.
I think Sergio Yui has a good collection of party bottles.
Sergio is your sleeper pick, I would say. I heard stories. I wasn't aware, but I heard stories from some guys he played with. So he is very underrated. Which duo in the EuroLeague is like a bottle full of pressure?
The what?
Bottle full of pressure.
Just the duo who feels the most pressure at the time?
Or like...
Like it's like a champagne bottle that pops.
Probably, yeah.
Which duo? Like 2 players.
Yeah. Or like persons.
Mario Hazonia and Janan Musa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
I actually picked Maria Zonia and Chus Mateo
Wow.
because
That's an even
watching
greater
some
choice.
scenes in the playoffs, like the way they were, let's say, communicating. Hazonia did Evan Fournier's interview from the Paris Olympics, like basically blaming the head coach for the game plan and all that stuff that happened in the game 1. So I thought that it was something similar.
Okay.
Justin Anderson and Jaron Blossom game was also, something in the making.
It's like
I would say.
pick 2 random players
but I
from
was
that
thinking
They're
series.
not from the same
I
team.
was thinking about teammates.
Maybe someone from Olympiacos,
A
but
couple of years ago, I would say Lorenzo Brown and Wade Baldwin. I don't really have a choice right now.
Okay. Which EuroLeague player brings that fake bottle energy?
Fake bottle energy.
Janan Musa,
Nemanja Nedovic.
Okay.
Donatas.
Nah, I didn't have
Of course, you're avoiding this question for
I didn't
sure.
have a clear pick. No
you're new-
names popped on my mind, so
If
I
you
don't
are
know.
new to this URBONUS Q&A sessions or just in URBONUS podcast in general, every question where he has to criticize a EuroLeague player, he's skipping that one.
It's not
So-
about criticizing EuroLeague players.
Yeah, right.
And actually, I didn't get the reference before I've read the follow-up questions from Ogie, and he was a bit harsher like which is the bottleneck player in Partizan transition system. If Carlik Jones calls, "Bring me my bottle," it means he's thirsty, he wants just to chill in front of the club, or he wants to play bottle attack. So I forgot about this accident in Serbia. Carlik Jones smashing some guy with the bottle, and there was this big scandal, at least in Serbia.
Yeah.
We weren't aware of that, but probably this question coming from a Serbian guy, Aleksa Radanov, was kind of related to this incident, I guess.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we were aware of that incident. We saw the video, we saw what happened. I'm not sure what's the follow-up. I mean, does Carlik Jones have some kind of a case against him in the court, or
I don't know. Maybe it's some ongoing process. I don't know.
Okay,
how it works there. Anyways, let's get back to some basketball questions. And Aaron Thompson has one. Which team from the Final Four would be impacted the most if they do not make it past the first game? Or in general, not winning the title? Would this team hit the reset button, make a dramatic change to the coach or roster?
I think this is an easy answer. I think first place has to be Olympiacos with the amount of money they spent in the past off-season, with the amount of times they have been to the Final Four in a row. And if they do not win, and if they do not pass the semifinal, I really think they're going to change the coach. And they're going to really rethink which players to keep. So a lot of expiring contracts. And if they do not win their semifinal against Monaco, they are the heavy favorites. I think they're the biggest candidates, even higher than Panathinaikos, who would be on my second place in this list. Third is Fener, and fourth is Monaco. I don't know if you agree, guys. But I think Olympiacos feels the most pressure before this Final Four.
Well, depending on the circumstances, how they would lose, I could see Panathinaikos joining FIBA, NBA, or Asian Basketball Federation for the upcoming season.
See, you did not wait too long to make a stray at Panathinaikos,
if it's just
right?
an answer about, let's say, who's going to change the coach and who's going to shake up the roster if they lose, Olympiacos probably sounds right. But if it's about which club is going to change the whole European basketball landscape if they don't win, it's going to be...
That's way bigger than just changing the coach.
It's going to be Panathinaikos.
Yeah, okay. I didn't expect that one.
You're reading between the lines.
At least they will make sure that 10 or 12 referees are not here for the next season if they lose.
Or at least in Athens.
We don't have enough referees in Europe for that to happen.
We don't. Seriously, Monaco have a young coach, and for them to be in the Final Four, to be back, is already a good achievement. Obviously, they want the title, but I do think that they wouldn't make any drastic changes if they lose the semifinal or if they lose the final. Olympiacos, I agree, maybe not necessarily a coaching change, but a roster shakeup might happen if they lose the semifinal. Panathinaikos, well, they're sort of building a dynasty with Ergin Ataman. I don't know if winning or losing this Final Four will affect that too much because they have players under contract. They're keeping all of the best players, extending Nunn, extending Glazor.
And I think Glazor's injury, like I might have put Panathinaikos at number one here, the most pressure, but since they don't have or they do not expect to have Matthias Glazor and he's not going to be at 100%, that's why I feel like if they lose, this is not going to be as scandalous as it, could be.
I mean, it will be scandalous if they lose.
Yeah,
at least on Instagram.
I chose the wrong word.
At least on Instagram. And Fener, I think they will make roster changes anyway, because the roster they have right now, some players are there for the short term. They still need a center, in my opinion. They still need to upgrade the center position, so they will still be making changes, but I don't think that losing or winning will affect Šara's future. He's bringing Fenerbahce for their second straight Final Four. They're in a position to win the title. If they don't win, Šara stays. I'm pretty sure about that. He has contract. Which players would leave or stay probably doesn't even depend on the outcome of the Final Four.
That's true.
I do think they will be making changes. They will be making moves in the market, but it's not related to the result of this Final Four in Abu Dhabi. That's my opinion.
That's true. That's true. Because there are some changes that they have to make, like the center position for sure. But like, what if Nigel Hayes-Davis actually leaves for the NBA? Tariq Biberovic, like he has a serious case to go there. So they might face the major shakeup of the roster one way or another. So that's a good point. But would you agree that like, okay, Olympiacos made their third consecutive Final Four appearance, right? I think so.
This is going to be fourth.
This is going to be fourth one. Anyways, like it's a lot. But if they don't win the EuroLeague, do you think that the head coach is the main problem? Would you fire Bartzokas?
I wouldn't. I think if you don't win, if you get to the Final Four, it means you did something right already. And if you lose, especially if Olympiacos loses, maybe the Final Four is their biggest enemy. Not that they are playing wrong basketball or they don't have the right coach and the right system, but
the format, you mean?
I mean the format. Well, remember what happened in Kaunas? They were obviously the best team in that Final Four. Yeah. How did they lose?
Yeah.
So
and didn't they lose a year ago with Vasilija Micic making the
year before?
Winning
the year before, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so it's fourth year in the row for Olympiacos.
In that Final Four where Micic hit the shot, at least you could argue FS maybe was the better team. But in Kaunas, without a doubt, Olympiacos was the best team out of four, but they didn't win. So, but sometimes it just happens that if the coach is there for a really, really long time, players get tired of him, the system becomes too predictable, and sometimes you need a change. I don't have that feeling about Olympiacos right now, but given that last off-season, they brought back Vezenkov and they signed one of the biggest stars in Europe, Evan Fournier. Obviously, there is pressure to win and to break the number one seed curse. So I wouldn't be shocked if, let's say, things go wrong in Abu Dhabi and the aftermath leads to Bartzokas maybe leaving the team. It is possible, but also I do understand how hard it is sometimes to replace those long-term coaches that create a culture, a system within the club. How Panathinaikos struggled when they had to replace Željko. Maybe Olympiacos would face some similar challenges.
I personally do not like this narrative that, if Olympiacos failed to win, they have to fire Bartzokas. But just a quick reminder that it was only a short part of the entire Q&A session. If you want to learn more about EuroLeague market rumors, such as Janan Musa, Nigel Williams-Goss, or TJ Shorts, moves that Olympiacos, Partizan, Zvezda should make, officiating controversies, me experiencing the outrage of Coach Ataman, Rytis reading hate messages, FIBA World Cup qualifiers draw reaction, the scenario that would unify the EuroLeague and FIBA, make sure to subscribe to Be On Plus on BasketNews.com/plus.